A tapestry of green, Pakistan's forest heritage. To truly understand a country, one must look at its natural world. And in Pakistan, a story of survival and incredible diversity is written in its trees. Forests are the lungs of a nation, the guardians of its soil, the keepers of its water. Though they cover just under 5% of the land, their importance is immeasurable. They are a living tapestry. Highest snow-dusted peaks in the north, sun-baked coastal lands in the south. Each type has its own unique character and purpose. This mosaic of green follows climate and geography. Great coniferous forests in the mountains, subtropical pines on lower slopes, riverine forests along the Indus, mangrove forests at the delta, hardy scrub forests in arid plains, the high forests, coniferous and pine woodlands. Let us travel to the roof of the world, to the northern reaches of Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Azad Kashmir. Here lie the magnificent coniferous forests. These are realms of giants, deodar cedar, blue pine, fir, spruce, built for endurance, branches designed to bear winter snow. For months, a silent world of white, extreme cold and breathtaking beauty. A cornerstone of the mountain ecosystem. The benefits are as immense as the trees. A source of high-quality timber for construction and livelihoods. Their most critical role is protection. Steep, unforgiving slopes. Dense networks of roots grip soil and rock. That holding prevents landslides and reduces erosion. The lifeline forests, riverine and mangrove ecosystems. Journeying south from the mountains, we follow the course of the mighty Indus River. Visual, aerial, river winding into the plains. Here, flanking its banks and those of its tributaries across Sindh. Southern Punjab, we find the riverine forests, locally known as Kachcha forests. Floodplain woodlands shaped by the river's seasonal rhythm. Woodlands of shisham, barbel, mulberry trees, species that withstand periodic flooding. They form long green corridors tracing the water through arid plains. These forests serve as the river's natural armor. Dense roots binding soft alluvial soil. Trees slowing floodwaters, reducing erosive force. This protects agricultural land and nearby settlements from the ever-shifting course of the river. Shade for livestock, fodder for herds, wood for fuel and building, lifeline for riverside communities. Where the Indus meets the Arabian Sea, a different forest takes hold. Dense mangrove forest in the Indus Delta, Sindh coastline mangroves, Balochistan mangrove fringe, vast Indus Delta mudflats and brackish water. In the drier parts of the country where water is scarce and the sun is relentless, another type of forest endures. These are the scrub forests, also known as Rak, Potohar Plateau, Salt Range, Balochistan, a landscape of resilient thorny trees and shrubs, acacia wild olive bear. At first glance they may appear sparse, but they are incredibly tough, perfectly adapted to long drought and intense heat. These scrublands are profoundly important. They provide fuelwood for local communities. Their leaves and pods are essential fodder goats, sheep camels. They act as a green barrier against desertification. Their roots hold dry, fragile soil in place, preventing wind erosion, preventing water erosion. Alongside these natural woodlands are human-planted forests, irrigated plantations in canal districts of Punjab, Changa Manga, Chichawatni. Examples established over a century ago: shisham, eucalyptus and poplar cultivated in neat rows, sustained by canals that crisscross the plains. These plantations meet the country's need for wood timber for furniture, sports, goods, construction industries. They provide a managed supply to reduce pressure on natural forests, essentially tree farms, and they absorb carbon dioxide, creating carbon sinks and improving air quality for millions. More than scenery, deeply tied to people's lives and the planet. They provide timber for homes, fuel for warmth, medicine for healing. Despite their immense importance, Pakistan's forests are in peril. A gathering storm of threats is chipping away at this precious natural heritage. The most direct and visible threat is deforestation. Across the country, trees are being cut down at an alarming rate. This happens for many reasons: to clear land for agriculture, to feed a growing population, for illegal logging, to supply timber to urban markets, for fuel wood to meet the energy needs of rural communities who have no alternative. This relentless pressure is compounded by the problem of overgrazing. In many forest areas, large herds of livestock are allowed to graze without restriction. Goats consume young saplings before they have a chance to grow. Sheep consume young saplings before they have a chance to grow. Cattle consume young saplings before they have a chance to grow. This constant browsing prevents natural regeneration of the forest. Over time, as old trees die or are cut down, there are no new ones to take their place. The forest floor becomes bare. The soil is compacted by the hooves of countless animals. The woodland slowly but surely degrades and disappears. Underpinning all of these pressures is a rapidly growing human population. More people mean a greater demand for land. More people mean a greater demand for food. More people mean a greater demand for housing. More people mean a greater demand for energy. This expansion often comes at the direct expense of forests and other natural habitats. As cities swell and villages expand, woodlands are cleared to make way for development. This combination of pressures creates a vicious cycle. As forests shrink, the vital services they provide, such as clean water, also diminish. And stable soil also diminishes, which in turn makes life harder for the very communities that depend on them. The consequences of this loss are severe and far-reaching. When trees are removed from hillsides, there is nothing to hold the soil, leading to devastating landslides and increased flooding downstream. Rivers become choked with sediment, damaging irrigation systems and reservoirs. Wildlife loses its habitat, pushing many species like the majestic markhor towards extinction. And countless smaller creatures too. The loss of forests is not just an environmental tragedy. It is a social and economic crisis. It threatens the well-being and security of the entire nation. To lose any would tear a hole in the nation's ecological fabric, felt for generations. The picture may seem bleak, but it is not without hope. Across Pakistan, there is a growing recognition that the fate of the nation is tied to the health of its forests. This awareness is giving rise to clear and practical solutions. The first and most critical step is the adoption of sustainable forest management. This means using forest resources wisely, taking only what can be replenished. Move away from destructive logging practices. Move towards careful, selective harvesting that allows the forest to regenerate and thrive for generations to come. A crucial part of this new approach is empowering the people who live closest to the forests. Local communities must be seen not as a threat, but as the most effective guardians of their natural environment. When communities are given a stake in the protection of their forests and share in the benefits, ecotourism, sustainable harvesting, other enterprises, they have a powerful incentive to protect them. Community participation transforms conservation into a shared local responsibility. It is here that the most enduring successes are often found. Alongside better management, there is a need for bold, large-scale action to restore what has been lost. Ambitious afforestation projects, such as the Billion Tree Tsunami Initiative, show that it is possible to plant trees on a massive scale. They help combat climate change by absorbing carbon. They heal degraded landscapes. They create green jobs. They restore vital ecosystems. Special attention must be given to protecting and rehabilitating riverine forests. Special attention must be given to protecting and rehabilitating mangrove forests. These are critical for water security and coastal protection. Ultimately, the future of Pakistan's forests depends on a collective will to act. It requires education so that every child understands the importance of a single tree. It requires strong policies and enforcement to stop illegal logging. But most of all, it requires a shift in perspective. Forests are not an obstacle to development. They are the foundation of a prosperous and sustainable future. We have the knowledge and the tools to protect and expand these vital green spaces. We must act now, for our children and for their children.